A year ago, as I said, when we dealt with some passionate individuals, it would be because they had done something with XR. They had kind of taken some real activist energy and then, wanted to do something with it. Maybe, and that normally comes from the fact that they're fell runners or they're like outdoor events companies, people that are actually engaged naturally with the natural world, not spending all their days in white boxes. They're actually confronted with it and have a connection with it and love it. But whereas now this sort of net zero narrative has cascaded through the consciousness, and medium-sized businesses with middle management are coming in just saying, yeah, we want to get to net zero ASAP. And I think Laura, our CEO, would say that's because they're getting some interest from elsewhere in their stakeholder network. I can think of one example, which is a big advertising company in London we're working with that deal with like household brands, that your suppliers for energy and things like that. And they make adverts for them. And that they want to make sure that their advert production process is net zero now, because the big corporate brands are beginning to ask them about that. So they actually don't even care, to be honest with you. They're not coming from a thoughtful, caring position. They're just trying to satisfy. They're just making their market. They're just trying to satisfy their clients who are beginning to be concerned about this. So that's really interesting. That was a big shift for me. I was like, wow, we've really tipped from passionate individuals to like, this is just the demands of the market now. They don't want stuff that has got slave trade in it. They don't want stuff that's, like got some things that we've agreed, child labor, we don't want these things in our products anymore. And it's just becoming normal that we don't want carbon unaccountable processes to be linked to our supply chain.
That's okay. That's interesting, because when I look at XR, the work that they're doing, it just doesn't resonate with me at all. That's not for me. But what you're saying is, the change, the impetus for change comes from lots of different places. What the work that XR are doing is massively helps a lot of people to kind of, get on the boat. And for me, it was Greta and David Attenborough, right? So, I listen to them, and they don't do it. Greta's massively off-putting to lots of people. So we need everything. That's why I say I would never be part of XR, but I love that they exist. It's very important that they exist.
I agree, and I think to be fair, like when I sort of described that flow of social change earlier, I think it sounded a little bit linear, like it only goes one way. I don't think that's actually the case. I do think it's a whole bunch of interrelated relationships. I've got friends in XR, I've got friends in government, I've got, you've got connections all over the place, and you're all influencing each other, pulling each other in different directions, and you need that plethora and diversity of voices to sort of move the whole conversation forward. So I totally agree with that. To me, 2 years ago, 18 months ago, I thought XR were bang on the money. I thought they were a perfect voice at the perfect time. But we're all a team, whether you like XR or not. They're fit to do something, and at the right moment in time, it's incredibly useful. But they're not the ones to like govern. They're not the ones to create innovations. That's just not what they're about. So if you're an innovator or a governor and you're looking at XR going, well, they'll never innovate or govern. Well, it's like, look at yourself, mate, because the point is they ring the bell, and then you're meant to pick up the baton. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's the time now for the innovators, and it's time for capital allocation and high risk venture capital to move into these areas and to have the right facilities at the right scale, a la that Avinash conversation, to make sure we do it well, and do it at the right rate that's fitting for the challenge that's in front of us. And so basically, I'm with you now. Give or take it, I'd say that XR's job is kind of done. There is a movement, and it's now down to the innovators and capital allocators to see if we move fast enough and smart enough and well enough over the next, 3 years maybe.